everyone, welcome back to our channel. In today's Mastering Data Visualization with us, Syntrix, we will be looking at the best practices for storytelling in data visualization. We'll first explore what data storytelling is, why is it important, what could be some of the best practices to follow, and start with practical example using our use case. So what is data storytelling? Data storytelling is not just about presenting data. It's about using data to answer questions, uncover insights, and build a narrative that resonates with your audience. Why is it important? It first helps you communicate complex data in a way that it is easy to understand. When you tell a story with data, you help your audience see the bigger picture and connect the dots between different pieces of information. What are the best practices to follow? First, understand your context. Who, what, and how. Ask yourself these questions. Who am I building it for? Focus on a specific audience to avoid confusion and for better communication. What do you want your audience to know or do? Your dashboard should elicit conversations and discussions that's going to have an impact on your audience. They might even start thinking about a topic differently. How? It's about choosing data that's going to help you prove your point. Second, choose an appropriate visual type. Whenever you choose a visual type that the audience is unfamiliar with, it's going to require them additional time and effort to understand what you want to translate. The third best practice is removing clutters through the use of the Gestalt principle of visual perception. The principle is about rules that describe how humans perceive a visual element. If an element does not add a valuable indicator to your story, it needs to be removed. I'm just going to give you an overall idea of the principles. If you'd like to know more about it, we can do another video. Just leave us a comment in the section below. The principles can be either similarity, continuity, closure, or enclosure. In this video, we will cover proximity and connection. Proximity implies that things that are close together appear to be related. The second is connection, which implies that humans perceive elements that are connected together as part of a group. Fourth, leverage the use of the pre-attentive attributes, which are visual characteristics of objects that are automatically processed by our brain before we consciously focus our attention on them. Use them when you want to direct your viewer's attention to a specific part of your visual. This is taken from the book Show Me the Numbers by Stephen Few, and it displays some of the pre-attentive attributes that you can leverage. It can either be size, orientation, and even shape. Finally, design with accessibility. Whenever you are designing, keep in mind those who are visually blind. Now it's time to look at a comprehensive storytelling process from start to end, where we will apply these best practices using a single visual. Before we do that, let's look at our use case. The BI team is going to send an executive summary of the average healthcare spending by department as well as the spending pattern from 2019 to 2022 to the stakeholders so that they assist them in their financial decision making. Remember our first best practice, which is understanding the context. We're gonna focus on these three parts of our use case. First, the stakeholders. This is the who. This is going to be the selected healthcare departments. Then we're going to look at the financial decision making, which is the what. We want to help them identify areas of improvement. How are we going to do that? By showing them the average spending by department between 2019 and 2022. The first draft that they prepared in Power BI is the following. I want you to look at it and take a moment and ask yourself, does this contribute to the understanding of the intended message? The answer is no, and I'm going to show you how we can redesign this using our best practices. I want to show spending over time, so that's why I'm going to change my visual type to a line chart, and I'm also going to shuffle around my axes. I'll use the x-axis for the year and the department as the legend, and I'll keep the y-axis for the average spending. And now we've gone up from 16 bars to 4 lines, which is cleaner. And it looks like the cardiology department is interesting to look at, so we'll do something about it. Now I'm gonna remove any clutters, so the grid lines. The grid lines, if you can get rid of them. In my case, I'll keep them, but I'll make them thinner and I'll use a light gray color, which is better to do than black. Next, I'm gonna go to the general tab and I'll go to the effects because I wanna turn off the background and the visual borders because they really are unnecessary. Now it's so much better. What I will do next is I think I want to do something about the labels and the markers. So I'm gonna turn on the markers for the cardiology department. And in this case, we are applying the connection principle, the Gestalt principle. That way people are going to know that they are part of the same department. And I'm gonna turn off the markers for the other departments. And I'll do the same for the data labels. So I'll turn it off for the other department except for the cardiology by doing this process. And also it will just give them a visual indicator of how much it was in 2019 till 2022. Next, I'm gonna change the colors. So if you wanna use your brand colors, you can do that. Another best practice would be to use the same color but different, saturation. In my case, I'll do blue and I'll do a dark blue for the cardiology. That way it's gonna grab my viewer's attention to it at first. Next, I'm going to change the title that was given, and maybe then I can get rid of the labels for the X and Y axis. So I'll just give it the average spending over time, which is an explicit title. And what you can do in Power BI, you can also change the font. So I'll just use this font and maybe I'll do it a little bit smaller. Yeah, that's good. Next, I'm going to get rid of the label for the X-axis and the Y-axis. So I just turn off the title that was given. And I think I'll do the same for the legend because we don't really need the title. So for the legend, I'm just going to turn off the title. Now, what I want to do is I wanted to put the department's name at the end of the line instead of just having them on the side. But in Power BI, you cannot do that. You can do it in Tableau. So what I'll do is I'll just put the legend on the center right, which is just going to help my viewer know that this line belongs to this department. Now I want to add some context, and to do that I'm going to use the text box to add a text that says that the cardiology department has increased their spending from this year to this year, and I also put the percentage to let them know by how much it was increased. And I'll use the proximity principle, the Gestalt principle, the proximity that says that, if they have the same color, the text has the same color as the line in the graph, so they are going to assimilate them together. And I'll just make it a little bit bigger and I will position it on top of my visual like this. And now when we're gonna look at the before and after, I want you to see the power of storytelling. If you'd like to learn more about data storytelling, we recommend that you check out these two books, Storytelling with Data and Show Me the Numbers. We're gonna link them in our description. Remember these best practices next time you are building your reports or dashboard, and we really hope that you enjoyed today's video. Thank you for watching, and until next time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Bye!